This is Solsei.
Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Miss Metchi, and we are back for another Corporate Chronicles. I'm your host, and I just want to thank you for joining me. This podcast is being brought to you in partnership with our good friends at Solsei Co and Special Request Entertainment. As you all know, Corporate Chronicles is aimed towards people of color that are in corporate America. This is a means to help you survive and thrive in the workplace. Now, today's topic that we're talking about: how do you deal with a toxic work culture? This was actually something that was submitted by a couple of different people that I had asked for feedback for our first episodes that we had. And they're just like, talk about a toxic work culture. And I think that no matter how long you've been in the workforce, at least at one time in your life, you have been a part of a toxic work culture where it's just like, how do I get through this? We're going to break it all down today. Now, it's story time. So let me share my story. I told you all before that I've worked in banking. So I went to a smaller bank after my time with the big bank, which they'll remain unnamed. Now, while I was here, I noticed that everyone was extremely tense. That was one of the first things that I picked up on in my maybe first week of working. It just seemed like everyone was on edge. They're like glued to their computer screens, almost like little robots. I'm like, what is going on here? I don't get it. I knew that I was in trouble the day that I received the email. And I can't even tell you what that email was talking about, but I will tell you this: it ended with him signing off as Hitler. Yes, you heard me right. Hitler. So for anyone, if you don't know, Hitler is a very, very bad man. He is not someone that I would personally, or anyone that I know or am affiliated with, would like to sign off their name as. We're not using his John Hancock in anything. Period. Okay. So the day that, we got this email, I sat next to there was a white lady. I sat next to a Hispanic lady. Two Hispanic ladies, actually. Shout out to all of them. And you could just kind of like see fear on their face. They're just like, oh my goodness, he's so mad. And they had really normalized the fact that, this wasn't apparently his first time signing off, someone that's supposed to evoke some type of fear or whatever it was that he was trying to do. I mean, it was just complete foolishness. Now, I had one coworker, one of the Hispanic ladies I work with. She would, you know, I noticed a few more weeks in that she would, get up from her desk and she would come back and look as if she's crying. I'm like, your cell phone's still on your desk, so we know you ain't got like no crazy drama going on with family or anything like that. So what's bothering you? One day I was working with her. She was training me on something because, of course, I was still new. And she just started to, I guess she felt like she could open up to me. So she started to tell me about all of these like crazy things that, this particular guy was doing, and no one had really, said anything to him about it. It was as if everyone saw it, but they really turned a blind eye to his behavior. So his behavior was actually, his energy was spewing off onto some of the other coworkers, that no matter what branch that I went to train, everybody, was acting the same way. And I mean, think about Hitler and what he did to mounds and mounds of people. Okay. And then you have someone that's in management that's like this, that is instilling that same fear and those same tactics onto their team. It was absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to give you all my real reaction. Let's go. Why did I sign up to be an employee here, of all places? This particular chronicle came shortly after, if you all tuned into the other episode, have you ever been an all-star employee and got fired? So this was the opportunity that came after that. And, it was just a tough spot to be in because, me, I'm kind of like, I guess I would be like a rebel, but actually with a cause, because I'm always wondering when there are injustices or there are things that's going on, why hasn't anyone said anything? Why has this not been addressed? What's going on here? Am I the only one that's seeing this type of behavior? It worried me. So that was my thing. It was immediately going into thinking of, okay, how have all of these people become so brainwashed that no one's standing up to this? No one has gone to HR. And the lady in HR was super sweet. She would have totally written it down. I mean, it may not have gone anywhere, but she was, she wasn't a hard person to talk to. So I'm like, what's wrong with them? Is everyone blind here? That was when I knew that I was in the midst of a toxic workplace. It was as if every Monday that came, you were counting down immediately. I mean, you couldn't even put the sugar and cream in your coffee. And it's just like, when is Friday at 5 o'clock gonna be here so we can get away from these people? Oh, we got a holiday coming up. This is incredible. Everyone was like that. This was something that was over the entire work community. Okay. This is not something that's just, for Blacks that are in corporate America. This is for anyone that's in corporate America. When it is toxic, it hits everybody. And that was the case here. So let's break it down. This situation that happened, it made any person of color with the company very uncomfortable. Hell, I even think that it made the people that were not of color uncomfortable, because who signs an email Hitler in the times that we're in right now? Who? We'll get back to that. Some things that I've noticed when you are in a toxic work culture is pay attention to the things around you. These are some things that I want you all to look out for, because it's definitely something that I've spotted. You ever notice everybody, they just like, they get real sick? It's not the wintertime outside. It's not anything that's going on. The flu's not going around like that. They're just like, they're sick to their stomach. My stomach is in knots. I'm nervous. Oh my goodness. If you are feeling those type of things, because the first thing is, when your mind knows that something isn't right, your body is soon to follow. So these are some of the things that kind of come out when you are in the midst of working in a place that's toxic. Little to no enthusiasm from the team. Everyone is just trying to get by. They're like, you know what? Let me stay real low under the radar. I don't want anything to happen. I don't want to be on Front Street. This is what you're gonna find when a place is toxic. Just like where I was. I mean, everyone wanted to keep their head down because they didn't want this guy to essentially be down their back. Okay. Lack of communication, or the communication is negative. If your whole team is complaining and you are the CEO or something somewhere, you got to stop and take a look at the people. Another corporate chronicle. Why do an employee survey on your employees to see where they are if you're not going to do nothing about it? The point is to get some type of engagement, and then when you see where there are problems, business owners should be paying attention to that. And unfortunately, when they don't, it creates a toxic work culture. Like, they're huddling together, they're going over to each other's cubicle or wherever it is that you work, talking crap through their chats. I hope you're not doing that. That's not smart. Okay. But if you're seeing these things amongst your employees, you may need to check, what is the culture like at that place. Okay. High turnover. Ding, ding, ding. If everyone is leaving, if you can't keep somebody with past 3 months or 6 months, you, my friend, have a toxic work culture. Or you're going to a place, if every time you get cool with a coworker, they're gone 2 seconds later, it's something that's going on in there. And it's not just the person that, I mean, you do have some people that like to switch around and they like to move around in jobs and do all of these different things. But let's be real. If they're in and out like that, it says more about the company than it does about the person that's leaving. Okay. Now I have to come through with the tips. I have to give you the tips of what you can do as a person of color to combat through when things get a little toxic at your job. Find people who feel the same way you do. Okay. It's going to be very easy for you to do that. It's the people that are, they're trying to hide, or they're just like this, please don't come and talk to me, but I want somebody to talk to me because all these things that's happening are crazy. Okay, find those people. It's not to get together and to be negative, but find your clan that you can get together with, and you all can kind of fight it together until you move on to something else. Make sure that you're doing something after work to relieve the stress that comes on from working in a toxic environment. Because let's be honest, most of us, depending on your age, depending on what you have going on in your obligations in life, you can't just pick up and move a job. I mean, you need your insurance benefits, you need your 401k. We talk about these things that come along with working in corporate America that honestly most of us need. But if you cannot move around at that moment, please make sure that you're taking the appropriate time after you leave the workplace to do what you need to do. It's going to be very important to you keeping your sanity and being able to go in and perform and keeping yourself off the radar of the people that create the toxic work culture. Okay? Document everything. Okay, if there's some things that you know that are off in your office, if there are people that are saying things or doing things that are off-putting to you or whatever it is, make sure that you're keeping a log of those things, just in case if it gets too toxic and then you become the target. Okay, make sure that you keep yourself protected at all times. Keep a receipt, always. Lastly, start your exit strategy. Start it. If you know that this is not someplace you're getting sick to your stomach, you are just like, oh my goodness, Sunday night comes and you are literally dreading for the morning to come because you just don't like going there. Start making your way out, because who wants to live their life? Okay. And you don't even enjoy what you're doing. You are at work more than you're at home with your family members, your significant other, doing hobbies that you like to do, your friends, all of the things that make you happy. You spend majority of your time throughout the week at work, 40 plus hours. Don't be miserable in the process long term. Well, that's all I've got for you all this evening. I want to thank you for listening. I'll be back with a new episode of Corporate Chronicles. Make sure that you like, share, get this out to everyone that you can. And I'd love to hear your feedback and even any topics that you want me to talk about, because we've all been there. Make sure to follow the Blueprint Media Company on Facebook and Instagram. And if you want more information about the Blueprint Media services, please visit us at www.thebpmediaco.com. Until next time. This is Solsei.